There's some interesting thoughts on and tactics on fear, on getting rid of your fear. So if you're ever scared about something, that's usually what stops you from doing whatever you're doing. You're scared about it, and fear is inherently unreal. Inherently, it's empty. The fear of something is something. It's a mental construct. It's made of thoughts. So if the first thing that you could do when you're scared of something is you can run it out through saying, and then what? So I'm fearful that there's not going to be enough. It's one of these things that comes up for me, and I work really hard on something, and so there's not enough. Okay, so for me, what is it? There's not enough. If I don't have enough, so I do home loans. If I don't close enough home loans, there's not going to be enough money. Okay, if there's not enough money, then what? Well, if there's not enough money, then we're going to need to tap into our savings. Okay, then what? Well, if we tap into our savings and use it all up, then we're going to need to get a different job. Okay, and then what? If I got a different job, now I'm working too much, and my family's suffering because I'm working more to try to make more money. Okay, then what? Well, now I got to cut down expenses, so we got to move in with Carolyn's parents because we can't afford to live where we're at. But then what? Well, then I don't even have the money to pay for contribute, and they get mad at me and kick me out of the house. And Carolyn leaves me. And then what? Well, then I'm sitting on the corner just crying. And, so then it goes into absurdity at some point, and you realize that no matter what it is that happens, it's not as bad as the fear of what happens. If you can accept it, if you can surrender to the possibility of whatever it has happened. But the thing that happens, often, the thought of it is way worse than the actual experience when it happens, or even if it happens, right? Most of the time it doesn't happen. So the first thing is play it all out, and then what, and realize that it's not that bad, or just surrender to it regardless of your thoughts, and it loses its power. The fear loses its power. So then another way to do it is let the fear experience itself run it out. Now, something that's scary isn't scary forever. You got people in very scary environments, someone who grows up in the hood, and they're not scared of the hood. And the reason is maybe they were at when they first got there, or they grew up there. After a while, the fear runs out. It's not there anymore. And you stop being scared because it becomes a new normal, a new familiar. You're scared of heights. You go to the Grand Canyon. If you lived on the edge of the Grand Canyon for some strange reason, after a while, you'd either die, and then you wouldn't be scared, or you're not scared anymore. The fear runs out. So facing your fear and pushing into it is one way of overcoming the fear. Another way to overcome the fear is you play out the thought structure, the story that you're having in your mind, and you change it. So you can literally imagine the thing that you're scared about. I'm going to be kicked out alone on the corner with no food. I have to beg, and Carolyn and the kids have left me. And so I play that story, but I add music in the background of my story. So it's like some like musical backdrop in my mind as I'm thinking about it, and it changes the feeling. I could even imagine those things I'm scared about in reverse. I can imagine it fast forward. I can imagine it slow motion. I'm recreating the picture that I'm fearful about in different ways. And if you do it, if you actually slow down enough to restructure the thought forms, then you get a different experience, and you can change this hook that you have. You can change the connection, or the bondage of what that fear brings by restructuring. So, some different ways to do fear. Hope that's helpful.